Writing Five Little Indians was a very long process. It took me 9 years to finish writing the book. And when the book was accepted for publication, that was pretty wondrous. It was exciting. But now that it has catapulted basically through the stratosphere, it has been phenomenal because it's given me a platform to have so many conversations about that very important subject of the ongoing impacts of residential schools. So it's really changed my life significantly. This incredible response, I felt people are so willing. Non-Indigenous Canadians have become very willing to have this conversation. And so I thought, this is a moment, let's expand the conversation. Really wanted to look at the history of law and policy and how those things have impacted Indigenous relations in Canada. I wanted to look at the myth of Canadian history and how people have come to understand Canadian history and how in fact that is kind of an erroneous story. It isn't the story, it is the story we've been fed as it's kind of an odd source, but Anais Nin said this very interesting thing that I can never forget. When others asked the truth of me, I was convinced it was not the truth they wanted, but an illusion they could bear to live with. And that's the situation with Canadian history. It's a myth, and and people really need to understand Canadian history as experienced by Indigenous people through the lens of Indigenous experience. I felt it was extremely important to include my own experience as it pertains to 60 Scoop, because I feel that if people can understand things on a personal level, then they can extrapolate and they can think about it on the broader societal level and how that impacted a much larger cross-section of people. I chose to do a complete chapter on pretendianism because it is such a critical issue. And pretendianism is not just an individual issue. That in itself is bad enough, where you see people like Mary Ellen Chappelle Lafond, who have had a 30-some plus lucrative career based on a false claim to indigeneity. You see Carrie Bourassa, who is the same thing. You see Joseph Boyden, the same thing, Michelle Latimer. But it's happening on a much larger scale as well, where entire groups of people are trying to establish themselves as a First Nation, as a Métis community. And what Jean Tellier referred to it as reverse assimilation, right? Where non-Indigenous people are overwhelming the Indigenous population by their pretendianism. So it's a very, very critical issue. When I wrote the book and I thought about, because when I write, I don't know if it's the same with other people, but when I write, I consider who am I writing to? And I wanted to write to every Canadian. I wanted to write to, teenagers could read this book and they could absorb it easily. So I hope that everybody reads it. I hope that it is picked up, for Indigenous Studies courses, for history courses. That would be fantastic. But I also just really encourage, it's not a big book. It can be read in one day, and I just really hope that Canadians generally will pick it up, will read it, and really give some reconsideration to what they think they know about Canadian history.